Since the outbreak of hostilities in Korea, United Nations forces have captured over 150,000 prisoners. For the first time in its short history, the United Nations is confronted with the enormous problem of handling these prisoners of war. Ultimately, these captives arrive at the island of Kojedo, the main UN prisoner of war camp. All members of the United Nations are signatories to the Geneva Convention relative to the treatment of prisoners of war of August 12, 1949. The articles guarantee humane treatment, safety, healthful conditions, and personal dignity. North Korea and Communist China are non-signatory to these articles, yet the United Nations has interpreted the convention to include them. These prisoners are assured of a high standard of treatment. The sick and wounded are taken to a fully equipped field hospital. Proper medical attention will be provided. The new prisoners are segregated according to rank and nationalities for processing. This is the captured enemy. Unaccustomed to an adequate diet in their own army, these men are generally in a semi-starved condition when captured. It will take time to regain a state of normalcy with regular diet. These captives are typical of the soldiers of the enemy. They are mainly uneducated and destitute farmers, impressed into the armed forces, often ignorant or indifferent to the very causes for which they fought. The immediate problem is to take these men who are dirty, unkempt, and lice-ridden and restore them to operating respectability. This, then, is the captured enemy. Dusting crews made up of prisoners of war use DDT to rid the vermin-infested new arrivals of lice. Achieving sanitary conditions is vital to the health and well-being of the prisoners. Preventive healthful measures require the removal of hair. PW barbers give the men a thorough shearing on a mass production basis. This removal of hair is important in the process of attaining personal cleanliness. Prisoners are inoculated against smallpox and typhus. They must be immunized to prevent a possible epidemic. The United Nations exerts every precaution to ensure healthful conditions. They are given a complete issue of clothing and supplies. Although salvage, Class X, and non-issuable, their clothing is superior in quantity and quality to anything most of these people ever had or would ever own in their lives. They receive 2 blankets, a raincoat, fatigue clothing, a cap, gloves, shoes, socks, and personal items such as soap, towel, and tobacco. The revival of personal dignity begins with the newly issued outfits. With new clothing comes pride in appearance, and self-respect. The old, unsanitary and infected clothing is dumped and burned. The material reminders of their past go up in flames. Henceforth, they will live under firm but humane supervision. A finishing touch, and they are marked prisoners of war. The prisoners are ready to be processed in detail. A complete file is made of each prisoner, including his name, rank, and serial number, and date of birth. A capture card is then forwarded to Central Prisoner of War Information Agency, International Committee of the Red Cross, Geneva, Switzerland. Fingerprinting is essential to the prisoner's record. Before meals, PW food handlers observe proper rules of cleanliness. There are inspections to maintain high standards of sanitation. The typical PW kitchen operates on a mass basis. Preparation of food is made under strict supervision at all times to ensure compliance with regulations. Meals are served 3 times a day. In accordance with Geneva Convention, these men receive an Oriental-type diet, a diet to which they are accustomed. These rations, consisting of rice, barley, fish, and vegetables, comprise the essential daily food ration. The diet must be well balanced and prepared in sufficient quantity, quality, and variety. The prisoner is assured of proper nutrition at all times. After meals, strict sanitary measures are enforced. For their own